Okay, so our beans have been soaking for about a half hour now, so I'll set the vegetables aside and bring the beans back. You can see that they've absorbed a lot of the water that I put in. And the thing is with if you were just to cook these regularly, then you would want to soak them for a little bit longer. But what's nice with the slow cooking process is that because things are cooked slowly, these beans will be also cooked slowly. And at the end of the cooking process, what you want is that they will be completely smashable, so that they will be very easy for the animals to digest, because our animals, our dogs and cats, they're not vegetarians. They're not, their digestive systems are not set up to be able to break the cell walls of a lot of the legumes and the plants that cattle can eat, or horses. But if you have where these are nice and soft at the end of the cooking process, then they're able to get the full benefits of the nutrients that are in this. And this is just so rich with vitamins and minerals and protein for our animals. So it's a nice protein. But anyway, back to the quick and easy, down and dirty. I have a spoon here. So now a lot of times what I do is I put in the vegetables. So we'll just put in the red beets. Okay, nice and easy. Stir those in. I'm going to put in about a handful of the sacral, and a lot of times what I'll do is just seaweed, and our seagrass sometimes it's called, and I'll just break those up into little smaller pieces, okay, so that it gets mixed around more evenly in the food. Okay, just put in a little bit more. Okay. Now, also with the carrots, yep, nice and easy. Put in a nice handful of these. And what's nice about the carrot in this form is that it cooks very easily. A lot of times I find your root vegetables like carrots, they can be almost as difficult to really get cooked into the mix as the legumes because they're so thick. Okay. So we've got our vegetables in there, just kind of stirring the beans around. Now we can put in some of our bok choy, nice leafy vegetables. Put in some of the kohlrabi, okay, that we had cut up. Nice and easy. And then we'll add the meat. Okay, and you're thinking, how is all of this going to fit into this pot? Oh, but it will. So with the meat, again, you can use some ground meat. Okay, just put that in top. What's nice is this provides a little bit of fat and oil. Okay, rundhart, or beef heart. This is a nice organ meat. A lot of your organ meats can be very rich. I'll show you. I mean, you can see that there's not a lot of fat in the beef heart. So that can be a very nice organ meat for animals. In contrast, what you can see is with chicken hearts, these can also be a really nice organ meat, but you can see the amount of fat. So if you have an animal that has a poor digestive process, these will be too rich. Same with chicken liver. Chicken liver, your organ meats are great sources of proteins and minerals and vitamins for our dogs and cats. But if you have an animal that has a weak digestive function, where they're prone to diarrhea or upset with the stomach, this is going to be too fat. Now I'm making this for my dog. He's 5.5. He's a Labrador. He eats anything, and he's nice and healthy. So for him, this is not a concern. But for some of my patients, I will purposely keep them off the organ meats at the beginning so that we can, because it's too rich for their digestive process. Now what I'm cutting out here is just some beef that's cut up. I had this in the freezer, so you can see the little bit of frost that's still on there. Okay, but we're just going to put that in. Beef is a very nice meat for nourishing the blood, as well as the chi. And then the other thing that I will use a lot of times is chicken. Okay, so, and as you can see, this is already cut up, because like most of you, I also do not have a lot of time in my schedule. So we just break that up and mix that all together. Now another thing that generally I put this at the bottom, but I forgot, is mushrooms. Mushrooms are great little foods, okay? And what we have here, again, pre-cut. And you can just use, I mean, these are castagna mushrooms just because there was a good price on them, but you can use just the little button mushrooms, alright? It doesn't have to be anything fancy, it doesn't have to be reishi or shiitake mushrooms. Your little castagna mushrooms, your button mushrooms, these are also really nice foods, okay? Loaded with vitamins and minerals, but they also help the digestive process. If I have patients that have cancer, if I have patients that have skin problems, where they have greasy skin, what we call dampness in Chinese medicine, then mushrooms are generally advised as part of their diet, okay? Because mushrooms will help with the immune system, and they'll help drain that kind of greasy process from the body. So, and I just break them up into smaller pieces because they'll cook better that way, and actually even for people, we don't get much benefit out of raw mushrooms. Okay, it's not something that I see commonly in Europe, but in America you're always seeing where people are eating raw mushrooms and raw broccoli as an appetizer. You don't get hardly anything out of them when they're raw, okay? We have to have them cooked for our digestive system as well, but especially for the animals, they need to be cooked. Now, this just all gets stirred together, okay? So, and what I generally try to do is keep the beans, the mung beans, the aduki beans, the linsen, try to keep those at the bottom of the pot because they need that water to cook completely so that they're really smushable at the end. And everything else just gets kind of mixed together. Okay, kind of keep it all in. And you can see, yes, it's very full. Most of mine are very full. Okay. And then what you do at the end is you add some water. Okay. And as this cooks, this will cook down, so it won't be quite at the brim like it is now. And we're just going to add a little bit of water, okay? Just regular water, it doesn't have to be hot. And what I generally do is see where the water is coming up to the side, on all sides a bit evenly, not all the way up to the top, because I said this will, some of the fluids will cook out of these ingredients, especially the vegetables. And when that happens, then it will overflow. Okay, so you can see that's all kind of down within the borders. We put on the lid, and that's your crock pot. Okay, spread this out a little bit. So that's all of your fresh ingredients. Okay, very, very healthy and nutritious food. Now what we're going to do is put it into the crock pot holder itself. So let's do that.